Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, so Mike joined the group, and we did a couple tours, and well, actually, I guess it was just that we lost the bass player and we got you, and then lost the drummer, and we decided, let's just change the name of this group, even though we're essentially the same thing still. Let's change the name of the group to Hillfolk Noir.
Right.
And that was, gosh, how long ago was that?
Maybe like 3 years, close, like between 2 and 3 years, I think.
Yeah, at least. I remember Allie and I used the name Hillfolk Noir. We played a couple shows, like in Portland.
Yeah, that's right.
San
That's right
Francisco
around the time
and
Ruben
stuff.
was born, because I remember Ali had Ruben in the backpack when you guys were.
Yeah, we played in
tour.
Davis, California, and Allie had the baby backpack on with Ruben in the back she was playing the banjo. That was good. But yeah.
I started playing with Travis actually when Allie got pregnant with her last baby, and I've always been a fan and always had mutual friends. We just never got to play together, so it was an extra bonus to get to play with these guys too. So it was very fun, and hope to do in the future. Kind of got some things going. So
yeah, it was pretty random. When Allie got pregnant, I too kind of hopped on board.
You got pregnant.
But Travis called me up and said he might need some additional drumming help, and I found it interesting because I'm not really a drummer, I'm a guitar player. So I said, sure, I'll give it a try. And yeah, he brought me right into this shed, and we went through about, how many songs does he have? 100, 200?
Hundreds,
Hundreds. How he remembers the lyrics, I don't know. And afterwards, he's like, all right, well, yeah, I think you got a groove. That's going to work. And I said, okay, so when are we rehearsing again? He goes, well, I got a gig at Pengilly's tomorrow. You wanna come? Sure.
I think it was 2002 or 3. I met Travis and started talking to him, and I liked the band even before Mike, before a lot of people, and
I liked the band before you did.
of course you did, because you're older. You liked everything cool first. I was just copying Mike. I liked the band, Junkyard Bandstand, a lot. Travis had a song on a compilation called Boise, Idaho. It was immediately after my song, and the first time I heard it, of course, when my song came on, I got all goofy and was like, whoa, because I'd never been on a real CD before. And then when his song came on, that to me is still one of my favorite songs that he's ever done. And I thought I would like to play with him. And we had mutual friends, and we introduced, and we started playing basketball together first, and then we started playing music together later.
I started playing with Hillfolk like in October of '06, I think, and I think actually the prison gig was my last show with them, and which is fine. It's been a really fun journey. center of the ward mind.
The ward.
Yeah, the ward, exactly. Ultimately, I mean, we always had fun. It was a fun deal. Ultimately, they found out that I listened to music from the high fidelity era and kicked me out.
And the fact that there was no, there weren't amplifiers and PAs, and it was just, we weren't really even singing into microphones.
Yeah.
There was just really very little in between what the audience heard,
Right. It's kind of
what was
liberating,
recorded,
yeah.
and what was coming out of the band. And
It's all right. I mean, it's first vocal appearance.
3 kids now. So when we're touring, was just the 2. So now there's a new baby. So there's Grace, who's now 9, and Ruben, who's 5, and the baby's name is Guthrie, and he's only 4 months old. So he's just a little pipsqueak. And I was thinking about at the prison recording, he was only 3 weeks old, and it was pretty much the first time I left the house. I mean, really, left the house. And, it was really my first time, trying to get the baby carrier and the other 2 kids and all this stuff, because Travis had been setting up for sound all day long. And, I was physically sore, ruined the next day just from being on my feet that much. It was a little embarrassing, but.
And I remember when I finally, my beloved bride and I were really close back in the 80s, and she moved to England for 20 years or so, and we kept in touch. And I remember when she was coming back, I'd convinced her that this is where she needed to be, and I was riding in the van with Hillfolk, and saying, yeah, well, Catherine's coming back. She's a musician, Boise musician from way back, and yeah, she's coming back. She wants me to be in her band. I'm not going to do it, though. No way. I hate those bands, which is funny because Travis and Allie are in the band, and or in the van, and I was totally wrong about that. It's great making music with her, and we'd just be tag team coming and going if both of us had musical projects going. So I play with a band called AKA Bell, which is my wife and I and a couple other guys. And that's been great, actually. I loved my days in Hillfolk, and it did a lot for me musically, too. But I think this is a better situation.
Let's see. I spend most of my time here teaching a lot of music lately at Johnny Shue's beloved guitar store downtown, Old Boise Guitar Company, and so I teach mandolin and fiddle and guitar down there most of the days of the week, and I play with a little band on Thursday nights right next door to there at Pengilly Saloon, previously mentioned at Pengilly Saloon, a band called the Frim Fram 4 that I've played with them for several years now, and then recently had some fun with Travis and my dad and the guys that he plays music with. They have a band in town called the Giant Leprechauns, a great name, worth mentioning, just on its own merits alone. But we've started a sort of an old-timey string band thing with some Appalachian kinds of fiddle tunes and stuff like that. Not so much of a bluegrass thing, but sort of old-timey, I suppose.
Old-timey
Yeah.
stuff. Cool.
Yeah, and it's called the Hokum High Flyers. Practicing on Tuesday nights. So hopefully we're gonna have a square dance downtown at the Linen Building here pretty soon. And no hoop skirts necessary.
Well, now Tuesday I'll get a knife. I'm going to take my brother's life, and then this Wednesday I'll come home and I'll be traveling alone. On down the road, on down the road. Well, it don't matter where I am exactly where I stand, and it don't matter where I'm going, it's all same in the end. It's down the road, it's down the road. Oh shit, I just found out today that my poor brother had passed away. He had 2 left feet and a cackle when he speak. He went down the road, went down the road.
One of my goals for the band is to actually be on a recording or album or some sort of document that proves that I've played with the band, because even though I've been with the band on and off for almost 5 years, I've managed to avoid all the recording sessions. So that would be really fun, because it's been one of my favorite, musical experiences.
Travis just comes up with the songs. Like, he might ask me for a suggestion for arranging it here and there, but Travis is definitely the songwriter, and I just kind of jump in. He shows me a song, and I'll listen to it and go, oh, cool, and start playing along. And next thing we know, we're playing that song in a show like 3 hours later.
For the band, what I hope is, or kind of goal, would be that it can maintain artistic integrity.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about Travis's approach that's very unique, and it's not found from every songwriter and in every recording or every band, and so I really hope that can be preserved, even though the faces of Hillfolk Noir might change, or the direction or where they're traveling, or what the instrumentation is, or Travis is just so diverse in his approach to writing that I hope that that never goes away.
Well, you'll find them hiding in your shadows, then you'll find them in between the walls. If you're living, you've got nothing to worry about except soon you'll be nothing at all. You better run, run, run as fast as you can. You better run, 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 run. You better run, run, run as fast as you can. You better run, 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 run. Well, I ain't here to make you feel better, and I ain't here to make you feel worse. But I woke from a dream not empty-handed. Oh, I held a fear that hurt so bad it hurt. You better run, run, run as fast as you can. You better run, 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 run. You better run, run, run as fast as you can. You better run, 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 run. Well, now comes the moment of truth. Will you die or will you make it through? Will the dead walk and make you walk just like them? Will you make it all? Will this be the end? You better run, run, run as fast as you can. You better run, 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 run. You better run, run, run as fast as you can. You better run, 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 run. You better run, 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 run. You better run, 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 run.
I was a teacher, much like Jonah's mother, I guess. I taught, up until a month ago, I was teaching history at a junior high, East Junior High, and then before that I was teaching government at Bora High School. And economy's been a little rough. I just got the job as a hire on, and then they were doing cutbacks, so I continuously kept having my contract. It wouldn't get renewed, and then I'd get another last minute job. And then in the meantime, being a musician as well, I just tried to put them together. So now I guess I make my living the same way these guys do, by teaching music, and it still gives me the freedom and time to play.
Well, I think being a musician is hard. There's a little window when it's really easy. In your early 20s, when everybody wants to go out and drink and everyone's hanging out together, there's no family baggage happening or anything, then it's really easy. But it's hard. I'm 45. I'll just say it. I'm 45, okay? But to be, so I'm saying like a lifelong musician. I made my first record in '87, and toured on it. And when I was like 25, I actually had a lot of success in music, and I've had a little more failure, obviously, because I'm an accountant at the time, presently. But back when I was 25, I was a full-time musician, had a nice record deal and stuff, and now I'm like I said, I'm an accountant. So you have to figure out how to keep music, how to be relevant, and once you have had the freedom to play, really focus on music and play at a certain level, now all of a sudden you're a weekend warrior and it just really rings empty. So you have to put a lot more into it just to keep what your minimum acceptance level is, and that's a challenge, and it really shows the love of music, why people are still doing it. And the awards really opened my eyes. That was part of my experience with the Hillfolk Noir. It's like, how are these guys going to do it? They can't do it. They've got, what, Ruben was 3 and Grace was 6 or so, and we're loading them in the van and going and touring, and Allie's got a career, just trying to keep it going takes a lot of work, so it's got to be very gratifying to you if you're going to continue to do it, and they have done it, and that was inspiring to me. And you need to redouble things and just focus on what makes you happy and keep doing it, because it's too easy to take the path of least resistance and just give up a little bit on things that you're passionate about.
And become an accountant.
Become an accountant. Well, I need to modify it. I'm a really crappy accountant, and I work